Joe, my problem has been that I haven't been on social media.
I'm
And
sorry, you cut out there for a second.
I have not been on social media,
Okay.
and so I've chosen Facebook as to be part of my business. So of course I need it.
Right.
And I know a little bit, but I feel like I'm so green at this.
Sure. Yeah. So Facebook ultimately, and that's a great place for us to start. Facebook really has two parts, and that is the social side and the business side. And what we're going to cover today on ads is really the business side. However, the social side is also important because people go on Facebook not just to be advertised to; they go to interact and be social. So you have to build a presence there, at least a little bit, with your personal audience, and then your business audience can be something completely different. But we'll talk a little bit about some effective things you can do to better convert. But yeah, absolutely, that's a great question. Let me just get my screen ready here. And I'm going to mute everybody just so everybody who comes in stays muted. So everybody knew. So if you would like to unmute yourself, definitely jump on and unmute yourself. And we'll get started in just a moment. Let me share my screen. Excellent. All right. So I'm going to start with my standard disclaimer. If you see anything different, I'm getting some new stuff that they're going to be launching in the near future. So if anything looks different, please bring that to my attention. The line on what they do and kind of how that works gets blurred very quickly for me. So I just bring that to my attention. And we will get started. As always, guys, I like to start here. Answers.kw.com. This is a great resource. So if you need to know something about command, and if you need a quick answer, how to, this is where you really need to go. So we're going to click here. I go to Facebook. I'm going to go configure your ad campaign. And you see, this is ultimately the class we are going to be teaching today. So if you need a handout, if you're the type of person who needs a handout, this is the handout that I will be giving you, is this article from answers.kw.com. This is what we are doing. This is what we are working on. So I'm going to post this in the chat. If somebody could please remind me when class ends to post it again, because anybody new joining will not see that. So we'll make sure that they get that resource. All right.
How did you go there? Can you please?
Yeah. So just if you go to answers.kw.com, and I did post this in the chat, so you can click the link directly. But if you, again, answers.kw.com is the resource that you have as an agent with command, and it can teach you everything that is in command. Really everything that is Keller Williams technology in their ecosystem. So everything from new, which is command, to old, which is my KW, is all in that system. So again, what I did was I searched for Facebook, and you see I have these drop downs of top articles. So what I'm going to do is configure a Facebook ad campaign. But as you can see, there are other things in here that you can do that are related to Facebook as well, and they're great learning resources. So again, I'm clicking on this first one, which is configure your Facebook ad campaign, and then this is the article that will, this is the article that is available to you, and ultimately what I will be teaching today. So if you want to have an idea, or if you want to go back and refresh something and quickly look it up, this is where you would go. This is our handout, so to say, for today. All right. So here we are in Command, and we're going to be working on our leads. So ultimately, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the red KW. You don't have to. I'm just showing you that we're going down here to, to campaigns. It is the megaphone. So think about it as shouting out to everybody what your business is about, right? I'm going to click on campaigns, and it's going to bring us to the campaign dashboard. Now, you guys may see something a little different. Did they launch this? Someone chime in. Did they launch this for everybody? I believe they did. But if they did not, you will just click. You will be on this paid ads page. But what we're looking here is the dashboard, what we want to do for ads, how we're doing, what we're spending, all of that fun stuff. Okay. Gives you some recommendations for quick posts. So these are things you can post to your social media, and just some training down here as well that you can look at. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a Facebook ad today. Now, it doesn't have to be a Facebook ad. You can also do an ad on Twitter. You can do an ad on a paid ad on Instagram. You can do a paid ad on Google AdWords, right? They're all a little different. Today, we're going to be doing an ad on Facebook. All right. So I'm going to create a new campaign, and I'm going to do a social ad paid. Now, you do see two things here. You see social ad paid and then social post. Social post is just a post to your Facebook that is, it's just there. You're not advertising to anybody. It's just to the people who already like your Facebook page. All right. That's all that is. So we're going to be doing a social ad, which is actually a paid ad, but understand if you want to do just a social post, you can do that as well. It's just going to have a smaller audience. All right. It also operates a little differently. There's no lead capture, stuff like that. I'm going to click social ad. Now it's going to do advertise. What are we advertising? Now, if you remember from our class on Wednesday, we talked about a smart plan for a specific listing to follow up on. So what we're going to do today, and what I'm going to build, is a listing smart plan for a particular listing. Let's say it's a new listing that came to the market. Now, before I get into that, I would love from you guys some ideas on what you might advertise on this as an ad. What item of value? What would you put out there to advertise as far as Facebook goes? So just, chime up. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear a couple of things before we move on. So.
Buyers.
For buyers? Okay. And so how would you advertise for buyers? What's a way you would advertise for buyers? No.
Looking for.
Okay.
I have buyers that are looking for, and you could possibly do a visual.
Oh, so like you have buyers, you're actually advertising your buyers and what they're looking for to see if anybody has it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, got it. So yeah, that's a great one. Whereas let's say you have a buyer who is looking for a home with a pool, right? And with these, I would be as generic as possible. And we can talk about other ad types. We can target buyers too, but yeah, so let's say they're looking for a pool, but you can't find any inventory with a pool. Well, you can simply advertise in the town that they're looking for, and it's going to be a 20-mile radius, or 15. I forget which one they limit it to now. They changed that recently. So you say, let's say it's Ridgefield, or let's say it's Stamford. You say, we have a buyer looking for a home with a pool, and they can't find what they're looking for. Do you think do you or somebody have a home with a pool that they're thinking of selling? Right now, here's what I didn't do. Because you want your marketing dollar to work effectively, I didn't say what price it was. I didn't say any other of the features they're looking for, because what you want is you want people who may be interested in selling their house to call you. And if I narrow it down too much here, they're not going to do that, right? So great idea. I would be strategic about how you do it so that your dollar amount is most effectively used, right? And who else are we going to get from advertising that? If you are advertising for buyers, are we going to potentially get more buyers, right? Are we going to get other people who see you go above and beyond? That's a bonus. And are we going to get sellers who just think you're going above and beyond even if they don't have a pool? I mean, that's what we're showing here, and that's a great idea. Anything else? One or two more, guys?
How about an open house?
Love that. Open house, great. I love those. And yeah, so those are good ones. Event awareness. Maybe you want to advertise your Shred It Day. Maybe you want to advertise an open house. All those things. Absolutely. Great ideas as well. The one I like to go to is using the advertise multiple listings. The thing that I say is, if you've ever taken Bold, they talk about Tony DeCello's. Tony does it again, right? He does it as a paper flyer, and I still think that's a great thing to do every single month. But you could do a version of Steven does it again, or Chris does it again, or Janine does it again, where you put all of the listings that you've done, and I think you can do, it's either 6 or 8 listings you can put on there and say, hey, we had these are the new listings we took. Who do you know who's looking to buy or sell real estate? Whatever it is. And all you're doing is every single month, you're doing brand awareness, and the message you're sending is Steven lists, Steven lists, Steven lists, Steven lists. And you're doing that over and over and over again. And here's the great thing. With permission, you can ask other agents what listings they have that you can put out there. Now, I always say ask permission first, because you're representing that this is your listing. And you want to make sure that they are okay with you doing that additional marketing. Most agents would love the additional exposure to their listings. So be aware, but you never want to trip over somebody getting upset that, you're advertising their listing without their permission. All right. So today we're just going to do advertised listing. And what is a listing? If somebody has a listing that they would be okay with me advertising today, I'm going to use that as an example. So what do we got?
So I have one that just sold.
Okay. I probably won't be able to use that because I can't pull it from the KWLS. But you can do a just sold thing. So that one's not going to work. I'll just make up a thing, 123 Main Street, Facebook. And I'm going to say advertise a listing, and I'm going to say it runs on Facebook. This may not actually be the advertisement that we run, but we'll see. So I'm going to hit set up campaign. All right. Now, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to bring up a list of, it should be your listings. If it is not properly pulling this, email support, because there's something they can do behind the scenes to fix this. It's being a little slow. I don't currently have any listings, so I will look for somebody else's listing.
So you have to have a listing to put on the Facebook, or you can just generalize any advertisement.
Yeah, so you can do anything you want. Listings, let's talk about what a listing does. And a listing ultimately finds you buyers and it finds you sellers, right? So It finds you buyers by bringing them to the property, and then you get to either sell them on that property or convert them. Versus, if a seller likes your advertising, maybe they would hire you. You can just do an ad for yourself or for an event, like let's say an open house or a first-time home buyer event. You can do advertisements for all of those things. we're picking a listing today. So you would have just picked a different starting point. Instead of advertise a listing, you would have picked one of those other options that doesn't require a listing.
Okay.
And this is not, I don't know what's going on here. So let's hit refresh real quick. Okay, it's making me start over. 123 Main Street, Facebook. Advertise a listing, Facebook. So you see how I could say brand awareness or attract buyers, all of this fun stuff. For the most part, I find that like if you're just advertising your brand, that doesn't do much unless maybe you're advertising to somebody already in your database and you're trying to just be top of mind, right? So if you have a database, and here's an example, I think Sonali, you asked this question. You need, I think, at least 100 contacts that are connected on Facebook. So the recommendation is to have 300 people you add to what's called an audience. And then you can advertise yourself and just put yourself out there to those people who already know you as part of your 33 touch. So on Facebook, now they see you not only in the email campaigns you're doing, but also in the Facebook advertising as well. And I can show you how to do that a little later on in today's class. So I'm clicking Setup Campaign. I hope this works. It's being a little funky today, so I may. Here's the other cool thing about this is when it's being funky, we can always go and jump on this. So I'm going to jump on answers, and we're going to walk you through what happens here, so you can see this screen and what we're looking at. So if somebody's moves to the next step, let me know. I may ask you to share your screen. Mine is getting caught up right now. So we'll jump on here. So once we are on the screen, and again, I apologize, I'm teaching from answers.kw.com right now. Once you're on that screen, you pick the listing. It should automatically come up to pick a listing. If it doesn't, you can click the Add a Listing button, which looks like this. If that screen came up and you picked a listing, it will show the listing you picked right here. If it doesn't, you click Add a Listing, and this is that search screen that we just had here. So as you look here, this is that same, oops, it pulled it up. Good. I'm going to go to All Listings. See if we can get this to work now. It's being a little slow. Let's let it load in the background. You can search by property address, MLS number, or listing agent. So let's say, let's say, for example, I asked Debbie Orr if I could advertise one of her listings. Or, I asked Steven if I could advertise one of his listings. I can look for him by the listing agent name and pull up his listings and then advertise that. Now, again, you ask permission before you do that. So you can search by property address, MLS number, and listing agent name. And then you can search by these statuses. Now, understand that this is statuses that Keller Williams has keyed based on national, right? What I can tell you is our MLS does not push out pending listings. So even if you were to search by pendings, you could not see pending listings in the KWLS because of how it works, okay? Pending contingent. Now, you can see, they may have classified continue to show as pending. Again, I don't remember how they did that specifically, but deposit will not be in there, right? What we call deposit will not be in there. So be aware there may be some differences in terminology between the MLS simply because there are so many different statuses that they get. Now you can, like I said, you can do your listing or show anybody's listing. It's being a little slow still. And then you select one. So then you search and it pulls up a list of listings. make sure it's the right one. Sometimes if you relisted a property, it'll still have the old one in there. So be mindful of that. Pick the listing you want, hit select, and then it's going to show up there. All right. Let's go back, see if we have, okay. So now I'm going to search for, let's see, Main Street. Let's see if it'll let me. Report, I'm going to have to report this as an error because it's being a little slow. All right. So once you pick the listing, the next section is add text. It looks like this within your screen. So you have the main copy, headline, description. So what you will see is as you work on this, on the right of the screen, there will be a preview that starts to generate. So work through that, right? Your main copy. Now, ideas of main copies, headlines. You want something that'll catch their attention. You don't want to give them all the information. So this is where it goes down to. One of the top questions I get asked a lot by top agents is, do I put the price or not, right? So the question is, well, what's your goal, right? As we talked about before, if you're trying to get a broader amount of people to be interested in it, don't put the price. If you're trying to get people to register before you give them information, don't put the price, right? Similar to when we pick up the phone on floor time or when we have a lead come in and somebody says, oh, hey, I just drove past 123 Main Street, what's the price? And if you tell them the price and they're not interested, they're gonna hang up the phone. So think about that when you're writing this ad copy. You want something to draw them in without giving them so much information that they decide or disqualify the property as something they're interested in, because then that's not money well spent. One thing you could do, again, like we talked about, is if you're advertising the pool, maybe it's particularly hot summer, people are really interested in the pools. We have all those New York buyers moving out of Manhattan who want outdoor space, and they want things like that. So maybe the pool is what we target here. Social distance and style, whatever it might be, put that out there in this to draw and get their attention. Once you finish the ad text, the next piece is add media. You hit configure, and it should automatically bring up, let me see if it pulled this in. Nope, I'm having issues here. It should automatically bring up the listing images for that property, okay? So however many fed over from the MLS. Now, because we're doing an online ad, you do not have to, because we're doing an online ad, you do not have to worry necessarily about the quality of image coming over from the MLS. Note that if you were doing a postcard ad or something like that, you will probably want to replace those images with your high quality images from the photographer, right? It will not be good enough quality. So for this, it's okay. For postcards, you're going to want to add those. So you have a couple of things. You can choose from the listing. You can add images, which means you upload images, right? If you have one that's not on the MLS, but you want to put it in there. Or, and then the last part is video. You click on video and you can upload video that runs in the ad. I would not do a full walking tour of the property here, but let's say you are advertising the pool, go on a sunny day, take that video of the pool and make sure you hear the birds chirping, make sure you hear all that stuff, and just have that as your thing. Because now what you're doing is you're just enticing them with something that is great. Now, I don't know, you guys, this is a little device. I can point you in where to get one. If you're going to be doing video on your own, instead of paying a photographer, if you have a phone like the iPhone Pro and some Androids, I don't know which models have good high quality video cameras, but if you have the iPhone 10 Pro or 11 Pro, there's this thing called a gimbal, and it stabilizes your video as you're recording it. My green screen is messing this up. You put the phone in here, it stabilizes it, you go across. You can do really high quality video for no cost at all. I can show you a virtual walkthrough. I'll post that in here that I did with this. Again, not something I would put on an ad, but you know, you can do short little, you know, 10, 20-second clips of something that's a really great feature of a property. Maybe it's the kitchen, right? But just something a little more interactive you can put here as well. You want to draw them in. That's our whole point. Pull this in, you do this. Next piece is your DBA logo, okay? You are required to have this on here. Again, Stamford is Keller Williams Prestige Properties, and Ridgefield is just Keller Williams Realty. I usually, for us, I just use the KW logo and then put Keller Williams Realty somewhere else. Talk to Stamford as if that is acceptable or if you have to put that whole logo in there. I do not know the answer to that. Then you save. Now, you pick either the right or the left, and all this is going to do is put the listing. Let me close this. Oh, I can go in here. Put the listing on the bottom of the ad. So you see here, it will be, let's say this is the image for the listing. It will put it either on the bottom right or the bottom left, just a little logo. Now, if you've set this up in your marketing profile, it should show up here. I don't know why mine's not, but it should show up here automatically so you don't have to do that. Okay? Any questions so far, guys? We're just setting up the ad. Any questions? Anything you like or dislike about what I said? Agree, disagree? Tough on these Zooms, guys. I'm talking to a void, so jump in here, somebody, please. Damn. Is this thing on? Do I have to start telling jokes? I will do it. No? Okay. Now we're going to move to channel options. Janine, I bet you're rolling your eyes at me right now. That's okay. I appreciate it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pick our account and our page. So I'm going to pick McCue Real Estate powered by KW. And it's going to pull up this here. Now, the next piece is, do I use the Facebook lead gen form or a site or landing page? And the thing I would say here is it depends on your goal. If you do the Facebook lead generation form, it's going to be a very narrow, it's only going to target people who are likely to fill out a form, versus if you do site or landing page, it's going to show it to more people, but you're going to get less people who are going to click on your ad, and you're going to get far less registrations. So let's say you're advertising a new listing. The question you have to ask yourself is, do I want a wide reach, but maybe they won't register? Or do I want a narrow reach, but they are going to register? And here's what I would say about a new listing. I would do both. So if you have a $20 or a $50, let's say you had a $50 budget for a new listing being launched, I would say spend $25 on doing it one way and $25 on the other. That way you get not only wide exposure for your listing, which your seller wants to see, but also you get registrations, which you as an agent for lead generation want, right? So you're actually working on the best of both worlds there. Your call to action label is learn more, sign up, or apply now. Most likely for a listing, you're going to do learn more. For, let's say you're doing a buyer seminar, sign up would be that. Maybe you're running a Keller mortgage ad, apply now, right? So pick one of those. Then you would either choose a following or destination URL. So again, this is where you get some decisions to make. Where do you want to send them? It doesn't have to go to your Keller Williams Command website. It can. Or you can create a landing page specifically for this. So if you're going to do the lead gen form, in order to go to this URL, they have to fill out a form first. If you use the site or landing page, it's just a destination URL. So it's where they go. My recommendation is, if I'm doing this, I usually send them to my KW website because I already have their information. If I'm doing this, I will send them to a site that actually forces them to register or give me information. So for example, listings to leads, if anybody knows that service, or the market leader site that you get by being a Keller Williams agent has that as well. So depending on your strategy on what you're going to do, I would either choose a destination URL that's KW or one of the other ones that we have, because it will force registration. For now, I'm going to do this because I want to get actual leads to follow up with. I'm just going to go to, I'm just going to send them to my website, josephmccue.com, be done with it. Now, if I want to send them someone more specific, I'm going to go to josephmccue.com and let's go to 1, 2, 3 main. I'm just going to click 1, 2, 3 main. I don't know where this is going to bring me because it'll bring me anywhere in the United States. Let's go to Richfield, Connecticut. Let's zoom in. I'm going to grab this listing. Let's just pretend I'm advertising this listing. So I searched on my website. I found the listing that I'm going to put. So, and I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to put it into the ad. Whoopsies. Wrong thing. So now once they fill out my website URL, or once they fill out the lead form, they will get directed to this, this website, but they have to fill out the form first. You can also send them to a generic landing page that says, hey, thank you so much for your information. If you'd like to schedule a time to talk with this agent, here's where you can do that, right? So I use a scheduling service. So maybe I would set them up for a 15-minute phone call where now they tell me when to call them. Again, just ideas. What you do, whatever you want here. Ad targeting. So right now it says Austin, Texas. That's not good. So I'm going to use custom settings. Now again, what we're going to do this based on the ad, the follow-up campaign that created on Tuesday, which assumed they were a New York buyer, right? A buyer from New York. So I'm going to target a custom audience. And I know that a lot of people move from the Bronx to Bronxville. Where's, come on. Or just say New York, New York. New York, New York, okay? I know a lot of people move to Connecticut from this area. And right now it's very popular. So I'm going to say New York, New York, and a radius of 20 miles, which is actually going to push it out a little bit further. You can do expert targeting or not. It's up to you. I personally don't, but you can target something like interest. So again, if this is a property with a pool, you could search the interests for swimming pools. Let's see if sunbathing is on here. Nope. Sun. Let's see what sun is. Nope. Let's see. Outdoor. Let's dig in here a little bit. Let's go to
Summer house.
that probably won't be in here. Let's just, if I look for summer, no, there's nothing with summer, unfortunately. Let's go to height.
Gardening?
I'm sorry?
Gardening?
Gardening might be in there. Let's see, garden. We're striking out. Sometimes this search doesn't work that well. So let's go down to see if gardening is in here, because that's weird. It should absolutely be in there. EFG, HIJK, let's see, gated community. We could say gated community. We could say, no, gross. No, gardening's not in here. Appliances, home business. Again, I'm trying to find interests, not necessarily things like homes.com or house. I'm trying to find interests. So landscape, I don't know, maybe landscaping. I don't know if that's gonna, it's a general interest, luxury real estate, luxury vehicle. Let's say luxury vehicle and multi-level marketing. Let's see what else we got. Philanthropy, photography, physics, plumbing, premier, private equity, product design. All right, that's enough for now. Let's save selection. And it's going to target people who have these, right? I think the swimming pools and the luxuries are probably going to get us our most, but the other ones might be useful. All right. Once we pick an audience, we save the Facebook ad, and now that's who we're going to talk about, and we change duration and budget. So it's got to start tomorrow, so September 12th, and it says 10 days and $3 per channel, so per day per channel. So a $30 budget. You can up that, you can lower it, again, depending on how many leads you want to have. All right. Any questions on that so far? I wish I could add a listing and show you this fully, but that's where we are.
What's a channel?
Channel is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google AdWords. Those are your channels.
So you could do the same ad on Facebook and Instagram, or do you recommend doing 2 separate campaigns?
Facebook and Instagram, I would say it's okay to do the same. Maybe Twitter, although they have limits on the number of texts, so I might run that one differently. And then I would do Google AdWords completely different, because that's just its own thing, its own structure. It would be a completely different strategy. Once we do that, and it won't let me pick media, so I can't hit publish campaign. You hit publish, it's gonna ask you how you wanna pay for it. If you have set up your payments already, you just pick the payment. If you haven't set up your payment, it will ask you to input that in. Okay, we'll go and I'll show you where you can put that in. But that's ultimately the ad we have, all right? Now, going back to what we talked about on Wednesday, with having a specific thing. So now we generate this ad, we've run it, we're gonna start getting leads. Great, what do we do with them? So I'm gonna go into campaigns real quick. I'm gonna leave here, it's not gonna let me save it. I'm gonna look at a past campaign I did by looking at my paid ads and one of my completed ads. So if you look here, you look at $0 leads. Where'd it go? If I click on that, it's going to bring up. Does this say I got 0 leads? Hold on. This one I did a lead generation ad, so I'm going to click on this. It used to show me. It used to show me, oh yeah, $30. It used to tell me how many leads I got. It's not doing that right now, unless I'm missing something. Oh, here it is, 9 leads, right? Right, 9 leads right here. I just took out the word leads. So when you click on that, which I just did, it's gonna pull up command. And of course, it's not working right now, so let me. Let's try this again. Different one. Okay, so here are the leads from that thing. You see, they're marked as leads, and they came in from Facebook. So what I'm going to do then is, what I can do is I can click on them, and I can do it all at once. Or one at a time, depending on how many come in. And I'm going to select bulk action, and I can add a bulk tag, right? Or I can add them to Smart Plan. So if I click add to Smart Plan, I can now go, and you see I have this Facebook 123 Main Street. I'm not going to actually do this because I did not customize it yet. But if I could select, it's now going to run this campaign for them and automatically go through these steps. Now, what I did was I can actually tag all of these as far as the campaign they came from. But again, what I'm doing is if I ran an ad for 123 Main Street, I've created a follow-up campaign specifically for that listing, right? Now, you don't have to do it. You could be generic, but my strategy, my system that I put in place allows me to automate a specific follow-up for the specific listing that's there. So you would do that, you click add to smart plan, and then the smart plan would run, right? So then you move forward, you do the steps, and that's how you follow up with these leads. Any questions on that so far? Great. So with that in mind, that's really it. So I'm going to open up to just questions in general, first on smart plans and ads, and then we can jump into open it up. Why don't we say the last 15 minutes we'll do any question you have about commands. So what questions do we have on what we went over today? Or ahas, guys? What are some ahas from class today?
Can I start with a question?
Sure.
So I'm not sure if this is, okay, I'll just tell you my issue. So
Sure.
I ran a Facebook ad the 10th,
Okay.
yesterday, and I did attract listings, and I just went on to see the leads, and I see that it says failed. The status is failed.
Okay, so that is an issue they know is happening. You shouldn't have gotten charged. If you think you did get charged, talk to KW. It is not happening to everybody. It is only happening to certain accounts. And it has something to do with the photos and a change that Facebook made. So I would say don't duplicate the ad, start from scratch. And if it happens again, create a ticket, a support ticket, and then email the RTT about it, who's Stephen Gendel, and let him know that it's an issue, and he can escalate that for you.
That's annoying. So what about, I mean, you're still recommending that to go through command as opposed to go directly into Facebook and run it that way?
If you want the leads to automatically come into command, you have to do it here. It will not work otherwise. So I would just keep that in mind. But yes.
Okay.
I would, and so create a support ticket. I have a call at 2 or 3 today. And I think they're going to address that. So shoot me an email, and I will respond and let you know how that's happened. It's not happening to everybody. You are an elite group of agents who that is happening to.
In so many ways, Joe.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, you shop at Carluzzi's now. You know, you're up there.
Joe, I'm trying to find out my KW app link.
Yep.
I went to consumer.
Yep.
And I'm not able to see that.
So you click on consumer. Then you click on site and app settings.
Hold on. Delete this page. Site and app settings. Okay.
And then click on URLs, and it should be right there.
Okay. Yes, and I sent from my phone to my other phone.
Okay.
And I just downloaded to my another phone.
Okay.
But when I go to, the more option, it's saying find agent. I mean, it's not branding.
So did you register on that? Like, did you sign into your account on the thing or create an account?
I created an account on the new phone.
Okay. That's another
Because
one
I
that,
sent a text message with that email. Sorry, I went to my old phone.
yep.
I opened my KW where I signed as, I'm an agent. And from I went to more and then share the KW app. And I sent by text message. I opened to the another phone. I created a user ID password, but it's not branding me.
Okay. That's another one that I would say create a support ticket and then email the RTT, Stephen Gendel, and let him know that that's the case. And let him know that you did all of, because he's going to come back and say, hey, did you do this? Did you do this? Let him know that you did all of the right things and that it's still not branding properly. And that way they can escalate that.
Okay, to whom should I send the message?
First, create a support ticket, which you can do up in this question mark, and you click chat with support, right?
Hold on.
So up on the top
Okay.
right hand, there's a question mark.
Okay.
Chat with support. If they are not available, you can leave a message, but you click get in touch. It's going to do live chat or leave a message. If live chat wait is too long, leave a message, but click live chat.
Okay.
Once you create a support ticket, you want to reach out to Stephen Gendel. I don't have his email address. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. So that you have it. Stephen is Gendel, so GENDEL.Stephen@gmail.com. And just mention that don't mention me, please, but mention that you created a support ticket for it and that you don't believe that it should behave this way, which it shouldn't, and let him know, that you sent it, the link to your old phone, your new phone, you logged in, you're fully registered, and it's not branded to you, and that they need to fix that because it is a bug that they need to work on, and they need to know that it's still happening.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Ahas. Stephen, you always have a good aha. If I didn't give you an aha today, I feel like I didn't do my job.
Hold on a second.
Okay. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I need ahas from somebody.
So I think a great aha, if all of this worked, would be that it kind of gives you a path on how to capture and follow through on that Facebook lead.
Yep.
Whereas I think otherwise you do all of the first step, but the most important, which is following up and capturing that lead, kind of gets lost.
Yep.
So this really clearly paves it forward.
Yep. And so our path and why we started with the smart plans on Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What day did we do that? I don't know. Time is a weird.
I'm with you. I know it's crazy.
You start with the smart plan and you build the smart plan, because if you start with the smart plan, if you try to do the smart plan once you have the leads, you don't do it, right? You end up sending an email and you send them one email, they don't respond, and all of a sudden online lead generation doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
You don't have the authority at that point or the experience to say that it doesn't work. So building the smart plan that has a follow-up, and here's the thing. internet leads, when you properly follow up, oftentimes have a conversion as low as 3%, right? So it's not that every lead that comes on your table is going to be a valid lead. So if you think about that, if you want to do, let's say a good case scenario is 5%, because that tends to be on the high. Let's say you want to generate, 10 closings from that. You would have to generate 200 online leads to do that. And here's what I know is if you do not have a follow-up system in place, that number goes from 5% conversion down to 1% conversion. And you need, a whole lot more leads in order to be able to just get 10 closings. So 100%, you need that follow-up.
So when I was on that class on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, whatever day that was,
Yep.
I wasn't able to finish it. I don't remember why. So I had to abandon that smart plan. Is that
Okay.
on YouTube? Was that record? Was that recorded?
So I think I forgot to hit the record button on that.
Oh my God.
Go to answers.kw.com and search for creating a smart plan. It will talk to you how to do that. If you want ideas on touches, we can do that on the side. Like, I like to do text messages that are short, right? No one's going to read a long marketing text message. Oftentimes the second day I'll do a text message that I just say, let me know, right? Because all I'm doing is prompting them. I'm not advertising anymore. And then it's not till a couple days later that I might reach out and say, hey, I haven't heard back from you, right? Or whatever. I like offering items of value. So again, we're working with people who are relocating because we're targeting New York. So a relocation guide, build it in designs, right? You can go, let's go into designs real quick. And if I go add and I go a print marketing, and we're going to do, even though we're going to be doing it online, we're doing a print marketing for this. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a template for something else to create a relocation guide. So what I want to do is, let's see, maybe I picked the wrong thing. Hold on. I think I picked the wrong thing. But let's go back because that was the wrong thing. Oh, here we go. What I'm looking for is, let's go back to, what I'm looking for is the, like the pre-list. Oh my God. We're going to have some issues today. We got to get back to the thing. No, it should be print. So there is an option. I'm not going to dig in how to find it right now, but it's for your listing your pre-listing guide, right? If you take that and you scrap it, you completely change it, and you turn it into a PDF that is a relocation guide, right? And let me show you what to do here. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum. I want to find this. Now I'm fixating. You got me fixating, Janine.
I know. That's okay. We're in space.
Somebody left. Somebody was like, screw this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. If anybody knows where this is, let me know, because I'm not sure where this is.
You created your own location.
Buyer presentation. Here we go. So I can click this. I can say buyer presentation. I'm going to use this template. But I'm not going to use it as a buyer presentation. I'm going to use it as a relocation guide. So I'm going to call it, I'm going to change this to relocating to Connecticut. Right? Now I'm going to redo this whole thing. I'm going to take out everything. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it to be a relocation guide, whatever that Oh, it says remove this page before use, but whatever. I'm not gonna do a specific client name. It's gonna be more generic. But I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna take this entire thing, I'm gonna rip it apart, and I'm gonna turn it into a relocation guide. I'm just using the template they have. Then I'm gonna go up here once it's done, and you see I have share. I'm gonna click share. And I'm gonna go to this design, not the project, because that allows people to work on it. But I'm gonna share it. Let's say I grab this URL. Now, if I go to here and I put this in this, right? What I now have, and I guess I didn't save it, but what I should have is the guide, right? I should have the PDF for this template. Well, if I put that in a URL out to them when I click, hey, here's this relocation guide, now they have this relocation guide, right? I can do that with any of these resources where if I create a guide, difference between Connecticut and New York taxes, and I put that in there, well, now that's the click. That's an item of value. That's one of their touches. And so, you know, that's just trying to get them to like you versus that. Now, you don't have to send them that right away. You can build this, and then when they respond, you send it to them. You get to make that choice, right? But it's there.
Interesting. Now, when you created that, did you use something as a model, or you just went online and just kept, you know, stealing ideas?
I mean, the relocation guide idea I took from Ben Kinney, because a lot of people, so my email might say, hey, a lot of people who are interested in this listing are relocating from out of state. Is that the case with you? Right? So I'm just simply asking a question. I said, if that's the case, here's your relocation guide. And so all you're really doing is you're trying to, you know, we talk about RAS and bold, right? So if somebody's relocating, now they read an email that says you can help people who relocate, and now you're differentiating yourself from an agent who is now just saying, hey, do you want to look at this listing? Hey, do you want to look at this listing? Hey, do you want to look at a house? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a house? You're offering an item of value. So, any other ahas?
Hello? Is it me or?
No. Sonali is unmuted somehow. I can mute everybody again. I think I can mute everybody. There we go. And apparently I did a horrible job. Steven still doesn't want to give an aha. That's my standard. If I've taught Steven something, I've gone above and beyond, and I haven't today. So I failed.
No, you didn't. My highs.
Yeah.
I have so much more to do, to learn.
Well, so Steven, what's your next step?
My next step is really to delve deeply into the business side of Facebook.
That's a little too broad. So what's your specific next step?
First of all, I've been told I'm not using Facebook enough to get recognized. So that's what I need. That's basically what I need to do.
Here is this is the best piece of Facebook advice I was given, so I will share it with you. If you are going to do Facebook, you have to post on a fairly regular basis. Otherwise, you look like a dead business, right? So if you're not going to post content, I don't know how often, that's up to you, but at least weekly. If you're not at least going to post it weekly, all it looks like is people then question, are you even a business? Are you still operating as a business? Because if you're not posting something weekly, then you just look dead, right? You look like, oh, is Steven even still doing this? So my best piece of advice is, if you are going to do Facebook, post a minimum weekly, something of value to the consumer, whatever it is, right? On the business page. We're not talking about personal. We can talk about, that's a whole other thing.
Joe, can I do the business without doing the personal?
You can. I mean, I think you need a personal Facebook, but you don't need to do anything with it. I would say don't try to engage people personally on your business page, but definitely put yourself out there on your business page, right? Let people know what not what you stand for, but what your standards of business are, like, and demonstrate that, right? If you love working with buyers, demonstrate that you love working with buyers by putting buyer resources out there. And I say this as somebody who has not taken this advice. In the words of Cody Gibson, take my advice, I'm not using it, right?
But the problem, Joe, is with Facebook Business,
Yes.
I have not been promoting it, so I don't have a huge audience there.
Right.
So you have to build your audience, or can you use like hashtags like on Instagram to capture that?
Yeah. So you do want to build an audience for sure. Get the people who already know and like you. Usually not realtors. You don't want realtors necessarily on your page. But let's say I Google. I don't know where that word came from. I Google Janine. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Realtor, right? And I come across your Facebook, right? And the last thing you posted on your Facebook was for 6 months ago, right? Even if you have a big audience, I'm gonna wonder, like, is she still doing this? So that was my point there. So yes, the bare minimum that Facebook is it tells people you have a pulse, right? That's the bare minimum. And if you don't have a pulse, one is no one's gonna like your page and your audience isn't gonna grow, right? And two, no one is going to people who are not looking at it from Facebook might think like, oh, this isn't the person for me, right? Is she still doing this? Is she doing this part-time? And that's where the flip side of that Facebook coin is. It's great for connecting with people, but if you don't put something out there on a regular basis, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
Which is contrary to everything that we have been taught and told, and what you just said, and all of the best practices model.
I'm so excited that you'll be doing this right now. I'm super excited.
The last client I got,
yes,
was a referral from a KW agent in Minnesota.
Right.
And she picked me.
Okay.
Because I don't have a lot of social media activity like her, which must mean that I'm so busy that I don't have time to put all that social media out there, which is such a random, weird thing.
I would say that's the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it is, but it's just, that's my latest client.
Yeah, that's weird.
Right?
How many of those have you gotten over the past 4 years?
Me?
Yeah.
100% of my referrals.
100% of your referrals. Okay. How many? What was a quantitative number on that?
One.
Okay. So that's the issue with that strategy.
No, I totally agree. I just thought that was comical.
Yeah.
So I threw it out.
Yeah.
And completely untrue because I'm not so busy that I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So she made an assumption about you. That is a completely false assumption, and that's hilarious.
Totally wrong assumption. I mean, I made her client really happy, but it was just, I would never have made that assumption about anyone else. It's just funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I would assume that I would worry that they actually died.
And meanwhile, you can check on KW agents to see how much activity they have.
Yeah, 100%. And we're thinking about this more for the consumer, like the consumer thinking you have a pulse versus, other agents.
Yeah.
But it's weird that's what she thought.
I know.
She also here's my thought on that. I would probably never refer business to her because I don't think she understands leverage.
It's just so hilarious. But yeah, I never expected that.
Yeah.
But I took the referral.
I bet you did.
I really think it was because I'm German, or I have a German name, and she's from Germany. That's why she
Okay.
picked me.
Okay.
But this is completely off topic.
We are 100% off topic. To anybody watching this video later, like, have fun. Like this is we're in the deep now. We're also 7 minutes over, so that's fine. But any other questions? Final ahas? Would love to get that from you guys here today. And if there's an aha about Janine's comment, please feel free to say that as well.
Janine,
Yeah.
because you are German, you got the referral from the German agent, I guess. Yeah.
You know, actually, I'm not German. I have a German name.
Name? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do think that's what it was, because the family that came over was from their family, and she was from Germany.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's what it was when she used this other, but honestly, I do think that there is, I don't know how politically incorrect I'm about to go into, but I do think there is something to be said that people feel more comfortable with people that are similar to them.
I am so glad this is being recorded. Maybe
No,
not.
I do. I think people that, no, in general, I'm not trying to.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. We're so off topic right now. Look, Stephen left. You scared him away.
But I just noticed that people,
Yeah, they will be more
example,
comfortable if,
Yeah. We say this in sales all the time. People like you, right?
yeah, exactly.
And so there are different people choose for different levels of comfort, and common ancestry can absolutely be one of those things.
Yeah, exactly. That was very politically correctly said. Much better than me. So
yeah, you were.
There you go.
I had to rein that in. I had to rein that in. That's your aha. I'm better at being politically correct than you. Got it.
Yes.
That's my next class next week is how to say politically incorrect things politically correct.
Yeah, that would be a great class.
that would be great. So when will be our next session?
I don't know. I got to talk with Dan as far as what they want me to do. I'd love to repeat the Smart Plans class. Next week, I would imagine, because of Mega Camp, we're not going to have a lot of stuff on the calendar, so it will most likely be the week after. So, all right.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, guys. I'm pretty sure you got me in trouble. Hopefully, not too much.
Joe, give me a call after this.
Okay.
All right, bye.